Hey there everybody, welcome back to the Sketchdom. My name is Jason Sketch, and I'm super excited to bring you guys more Marvel Champions content. Today, we have a new article from Fantasy Flight Games talking about one of the two heroes in the new Civil War box, Miss Tigra. I'm super excited to discuss Tigra. Let's head on down to the article and check out her cards. Alright guys, so I have already looked at all these cards. I've read the article. I feel like you guys at this point have probably read the article yourselves, and you're just probably here to hear some thoughts. Hear some ideas, maybe get some new thoughts and ideas for how you might play Tigra here in the future. Or maybe what I might be thinking about what this character looks like and how she might play. I'm pretty excited about it, and I hope you are as well. Let's just jump right into the cards. We're going to go through all the cards. We'll talk about them, talk about some thoughts that I might have for playing her character, and then we'll go from there. First things first, we're going to look at the back of her hero card, the alter ego side. It is Greer Nelson. Never heard that name before. In fact, I don't know anything about Tigra and her history, but I'm pretty excited to probably do some research for it. I definitely want to make one of my dossier videos on her fanciful life. So, her power is undercover work, and she's got the police trait. And action, search the deck and discard pile for a copy of Hunted and add it to your hand. Limit once per round. So you can already start off the game finding Hunted, which you can either use as a resource or use it for its ability. What is Hunted? Let's find out. Hunted is a zero cost ability. It's a condition and an upgrade. As an additional cost to play this upgrade, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put it into play, engage with you. Attach Hunted to that minion and stun it. Interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, ready Tigra. So it has a couple of different effects here. One, it pulls a minion right into play for you. So you have a minion out there just ready to go. Second, she defeats it and she gets ready off of it. So she kind of functions like the X-23 ally, where she'll ready over and over and over again after she attacks and defeats the minion. That's pretty neat, except for the fact that it stays on there, so no matter when you defeat the minion, she gets a ready off of it, which is pretty cool. It is a mental resource as well, something to kind of be conscious of if you need some mental resources for some different items and things there. And it is zero cost, so you're just pulling in essentially a minion for no cost at all. Except for the fact that you might get it ready off of it depending on what minion you pull out. Tigra herself. And this hero art, phenomenal. Love this hero art. Probably one of the coolest in the game. I just like the way it's designed. Really well drawn. It looks like there's an artist attached to this hero art. I can't see it from this angle here, but it looks gorgeous. So, really well done. 10 out of 10 on that hero art. Let's go back to her alter ego. She starts off with how many cards? Probably 6, right? Yeah, she has 6 and 10 hit points. Okay. So for Tigra here, it is 5, hand size of 5, and 10 hit points. She's got 1 thwart, 2 attack, and 3 defense. She's an Avenger. Each minion with a copy of Hunted attached loses guard, which is nice because now you can pull out all the guard minions and get them out of your way with that Hunted, and it just clears things out. So you don't have to deal with the freaking guard problem that most minion slayers have to encounter and deal with. And they just sit there. They still do attacks and different things, but at least now they're hunted, right? On the hunt, response. After a player phase begins, draw 1 card for each minion engaged with you to a maximum of 3. Now this is a really cool concept here, right? You're going to have 3 minions out there, all pulled out by this hunted ability that you've pulled up and discovered and used. You're then going to be able to draw a card, 1 per each minion in play. And that just is a thing she can constantly do. It's a thing I can do. After each player phase begins. After the player phase begins, I get to draw an extra cards. Which is great. Especially if you're going to play her in like a protection build. Because you use some of those cards during your villain phase. You can almost replenish your hand back, potentially, on the hero phase. So you can do some other cool stuff in that time frame. Or you can just bolster your hand and get a larger hand size starting the next turn. That's pretty wild. I am already thinking protection for her. A, she's got a 3 defense, but B, the idea of getting out 3 minions with Hunted and then using Pin Down on them. So now I just have 3 lockdown minions in front of me that aren't doing jack squat, but giving me cards every turn. Sounds fantastic. So that's a thought that I've had. What other thoughts have you guys thought about so far with just a few things that we've seen in the kit? I thought that was an interesting concept. Pin Down with the Hunted, and then being able to draw 3 cards every turn because you have 3 Pin Down minions. Next in her kit, we've got the Cat's Head Amulet. It's a 2-cost upgrade. Artifact item. So you can't use it as a tech to be able to find what you need for it, unfortunately. Now, resource, Exhaust Cat Head's Amulet. Generate a fist resource for each minion engaged with you. So again, if you're doing the pin down method there, you're not only going to get 1 fist, you get 3 fists that you can use. You can for each generate a fist resource for each minion engaged with you. So I have 3 resources I can use at any time, is my understanding. Or do I have to use all 3 at once? Doesn't matter. I have a fist resource available to me. I'm going to mute my phone real quick. Awesome. Next is Tooth and Claw. It's a 4-cost attack event. Attack superpower, reduce the cost to play this event by 1 for each minion engaged with you. So if I have 3 or 4 minions engaged with me, this could potentially come out for free, kind of like Rogue does for Gambit with all the little charge cards ability. Tokens, the charge tokens he has on him. You're dealing 4 damage to an enemy, and you can deal 4 damage to an enemy. So you can do 2 separate 4 damages if you need to, so to kind of wipe out some annoying minions that are on the side that are becoming too much or getting overwhelmed by minions. Or you can use it basically to play a free 8 damage down on the villain. On top of that, cool. The villain's got a tough, I lose 4 damage on him. Take out 4 damage, still do 4 damage, and if it's at 0 cost or 1 cost because I'm got 3 or 4 minions in front of me, then this card's totally worth that. And you don't have to think about it or even ponder too much. That's a wild card. How often do you guys keep minions in front of you? Because honestly, I try to wipe the minions out as fast as possible. I'm kind of curious if I'd continue to try to play a game where she just keeps minions in front of her. Again, that pin down method might work well for me. We'll find out. Sharp Claws. Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, it's a 1-cost upgrade. When you make a basic attack, exhaust Sharp Claws. Tigra gets +1 for that attack. Choose. The attack gains overkill or the attack gains piercing. Great. Even better. So the last card that I was talking about was like, yeah, I might do that event card and I might attack for 4 and then use the other 4 to do damage. If this is already out on the table, I can use that to clear off any toughs. Or getting that overkill damage is always nice, especially if you're stacking up that attack as much as possible, like you do sometimes for aggression. Getting all those upgrades out there, that's great. Her attack was 2, so this puts her at a 3 for that attack. And too bad it's not +1 for each minion engaged with you. That'd make things wild. Yeah, it's not +1 for each, it's just +1 attack. But there's other ways to bolster your attack up as well, and so she could get some pretty big hits, plus gain that piercing or overkill, which is a cool way to lean. It might be interesting just to see how big I can get her attack and how big my swings can be. Using a way to use minions to draw out cards and keep them out there for longer. That's so interesting. I gotta look at some of the aggression upgrades that you can attach some minions to see if it makes a big difference. And wanting to keep them around for so long. Cat-like Reflexes. It's a 1-cost upgrade. It's a superpower. Here, Interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage, discard Cat-like Reflexes. Prevent 3 of that damage. You may confuse a minion engaged with you. That's nice. So if you're like, I am about to die, it's there. It can help prevent 3 of the damage, and then I pop a Confuse on a minion, so it gives me an option to be able to flip down. That's handy. And for a 1-cost upgrade, it's actually fantastic. It's like a preparation, but it's not labeled preparation, which kind of stinks, so you can't use the new preparation card practice plan to kind of keep returning it back to your hand. But it has a neat ability to it. It's superpower, so you can use other ways to get it into your hand or onto the table. With I think Hope Summers, and there's also a player side scheme that pulls in superpowers. Not a bad card. I don't know how often I'll get it on the table if I've got other priorities, but with it being one cost, it potentially couldn't be too difficult. And if I've got an abundance of resources, then why not? Precinct HQ, it's a 2-cost support. This is an alter ego action. It's a location, exhaust Precinct HQ, remove 1 threat from the scheme, remove 1 additional threat for each minion engaged with you. So again, if you got 3 minions engaged with you through the hunted, that you've hunted out, and I think that they mentioned in the article that there's 3 hunted there, you get up to potentially 4 threat removed. So you're not really worried about flipping down too much because a threat may go up, but I can take off 4 pretty easily just flipping down. It's a trade-off, though, depending on what minions you have out there and how much scheme is actually going to go onto your main scheme. So how much threat's going to go onto your main scheme. I think we're at the tail end of all of her cards. I could be wrong. We're going to be jumping into some aggression cards here. Let's check those out. I'm super excited for some of these. Two Gun Kid. This guy, I mean, look at him. He's so chipper. He's so happy. I think he's going to become one of my most favorite allies. In fact, I cannot wait to showcase him on Sidekicked. Just reading his card earlier today, I was like, this is a phenomenal card. Why wouldn't I run this card? He would get me out of a lot of jams and aggression as a solo player, but even as a solo player, even as a multiplayer player, there's been plenty of times where there's a lot of minions on the table that just need to get it cleared, and he's going to help me do that. How does he do that? Well, Jason, we'll explain it to you now. Two Gun Kid. He's got 1 thwart and 2 attack. By the way, this is only 1 consequential statement for both. Interrupt. When Two Gun Kid makes a basic attack, choose 2 enemies instead of 1 and resolve this attack against each of them. So, the way I'm reading this, and let me know if I'm wrong, he's going to attack 2 enemies for 2 damage each. Right? When Two Gun Kid makes a basic attack, choose 2 enemies instead of 1. Resolve this attack against each of them. Now, I'm sure I can go back in the rules somewhere and it would be like, no, you have to divide out the damage that you do, split the damage up between them. And if that's the case, I'm less excited about him. But if I'm able to do 2 damage each, 2 to Johnny, 2 to Storm, that's great. Even then, if I'm able to split it and do two ping damage here and there, to clear off 2 toughs, that's still a pretty good card. But for 3 costs at that point, is he worth it? I don't know. But if he's there, yeah, it might be actually. If you're just going to kind of keep him out there to kind of help you clear toughs, and he's an Avenger, so if you use team building exercise with her, he'll come out for 2 costs, essentially 2 cost. And then, like, you have the 3 fist resources. You can easily just drop him on the table with just popping her ability there, and he can kind of ping damage here and there, so you make the minions easier to kill at the end of the day. It's an interesting thought. Huh. So I hope it's not a divided thing. I hope he does 2 damage to each one. I think it's 2 damage to each one. Let me know what you guys think. I could be completely wrong. But that is the way I'm going to read Two Gun Kid. Next, we have Coupe de Grace. It's a 2-class event. It's an attack. Hero action. Defeat a non-elite minion with an upgrade attached. So that's just going to live in her kit as an aggression player. Because she's going to just be clearing people out that are non-elite. Ignore any when defeated abilities on that minion. So if you're like, all right, I've got too much going on, or I need to do something different, or I need to get a couple of readies to... Ooh, yeah. That's interesting. Because this card can just straight up kill a minion. And then if I remember hunted correctly, we're at number 10. Yeah, interrupt. When a attached minion is defeated. So it even labels it as defeated in that card. Ready Tigra. So if you have 3 out there, and you're attacking for... Oh no! We're going to go back to Tigra here. You're attacking for 2. You're probably going to have aggressive, a couple different things on there that already boost her attack. So she'll get up to at least a 3, maybe a 4 attack. You ready 3 times off of that. We're attacking for, let's say we get it up to 4. That's 12 damage. That can take out some villains. That's so interesting. That's if you draw 3 of these. That's still interesting. Because at least you get a fair ready off of it. So you're getting at least 2 attacks off of it. And if you draw 2 just out of pure luck, you're going to get 3 attacks off of it potentially. That's crazy. Because you're going to be then, even then if you take for 4, that's 12. And 8 damage. At the very least, you're doing 8 damage, depending on how you get your setup build. 8 damage is still quite a bit. For a 2-cost card. Just the way her whole kit structures, though. So I imagine this card is going to stay in her kit quite a bit when you're playing a red hero. And that's a Black Knight art piece. That is... I couldn't tell what it was at first, but seeing that the text here is Black Knight, I can see him forming now. That looks really neat, actually. That's super cool. Let's see what the flavor text says, just for fun. I'm putting an end to this right now. Black Knight. That's awesome. I like it. The next upgrade we have is Suppressing Fire, and I'm sure this is not who I think it is, but it looks a lot like Remy LeBeau, if you ask me. But I bet it's some other person that somebody else will be like, no, that's not Remy, that's Agent so-and-so, or whatever, or somebody that's related to Tigra that we don't know anything about. Either way, it's a tactic. Suppressing Fire attached to a minion. Max 1 per minion. And when you attack and defeat the attached minion, heal 2 damage from your hero. So that's nice, because you can combo this with the card beforehand. Basically just wipe it out. Non-elite minion gets wiped out. You already have this attached to it as well. You get a ready plus 2 health. It's going to be really focused on using those upgrades. I think there's a few that came out during the X-Men phase. So I'll have to go back and look and see what kind of build you can make just kind of stacking stuff on minions. And I think maybe that's what she's focused on, is getting a bunch of crazy things on minions and then cutting them off and doing some crazy stuff for herself. I'm interested. I'm very interested. I'm not sold, but I'm interested. No, I mean, just looking at the cards, I'm psyched. I love aggression. I think it's going to be a great addition. Number 12. We have Savage Strike. It's a 3-cost event. It's a skill. Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, you get plus 6 attack for this attack. The attack gains piercing. I mean, looking at that ready that we had before, in theory, depending on what resource generators you have on the table, you could get both the one that wipes out a minion and get the Savage Strike off. That puts you at, if you're already swinging for 4, now you're swinging for 10, plus another 4. That's 14 damage, and it's all piercing, so it's cutting through the tough. That's interesting. I don't know how much I'll use Savage Strike. I don't necessarily play those cards like that very often, where it's and you get plus such attack from your event. But I'll give it a shot and see how it goes. 3 cost is kind of turning me away from it, but again, the plus 6 attack is another trade-off there, so I don't know. I do like seeing Doc Samson, though, on the card. That's fun for me. Another Gamma hero. So is that pointing to the fact that we might get another future Gamma hero? Is Doc Samson coming to the game? This card right here, though. Aggressive Conditioning. This is the one I'm most excited about. In fact, I don't see it not going in almost every aggression build. I could be wrong. But a couple great things happen. One, you get plus 3 hit points. And your hero gets plus 1 attack. That's so good. That's so good. Why wouldn't you run this? And then if you run it with an endurance, Now you get plus 6 health. So now your aggression allies aren't really worried about living forever or worried about dying because they've got a stupid amount of extra health. I mean, just thinking about Winter Soldier, right? Getting that plus 1 attack, semi-nice, so he gets a 3 attack. But he's already got a card in his kit that lets him get plus 3 health. Now another card that gets him get another plus 3 health, puts him at plus 6 health. Plus the bonus that he gets a plus 1 attack when he makes an attack. So now he's taking out minions a little bit easier. I can see myself using aggressive energy in probably every aggression build I have for a long time. I like making the basic attacks with aggression builds. So this card I'm really excited about. The art's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool picture of T'Challa. It's a very, very interesting aggression card. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to try it. There's a lot of cool aggression cards in this kit, and I feel like aggression hasn't gotten phenomenal cards in a while. I mean, we got Man on the Wall, and we got a couple cool cards in Winter Soldier this last go around, but I feel like aggression's kind of like sat flat for a while, and so this is just neat to see a couple cool cards that play into something a little bit different, and they're playing a lot back to Tigra, but I can see them working in other heroes as well. I mean, shoot. Even just using this to help out Winter Soldier, just to take out non-elite minions, is a great card too. Depending on how you want to play the game, right? Because there's some things that can benefit him, but he's already getting 2 threat off of a scheme every time he takes out a minion. So even if you're like playing Suppressing Fire, now you're healing yourself for 2 for killing off a minion, plus 2 threat. That's interesting stuff that could work well with Winter Soldier. I don't know if I'd run it in that kit necessarily. I enjoy the way I've been playing him, but I haven't tested these cards out yet, so maybe Bucky will get a chance to try them out for me. Overall, I'm excited for Tigra. I think she's got some really neat things. Let's go back to her picture here. I think she's going to have a really neat kit. I feel like just looking at the stuff already handed out to us that we can see in this article, this is enough for me to justify saying, yes, I will be playing Tigra. And yes, I am very excited for it. I see no downfalls. She seems like a character that I'm looking forward to playing. Her building is different because she's building based off of I guess it's building herself, but also building out of the villain's deck. And I feel like we're doing a little bit more of that over time. But she just looks like she's going to be a lot of fun to play and a very different play style. I hope she works well with other teammates because I feel like she's going to want to try to keep minions in front of her. And there's some other players that are going to want to try to eliminate minions as much as possible. So finding that balance is going to be interesting. She's not going to be a minion. A hero I'm going to want to play against Thunderbolts because, well, maybe depending on how you play. If you play it against 4 players and you get all 4 of the Thunderbolts in front of you, it could benefit her. Maybe in a multiplayer scenario, I could see her doing well. In a solo scenario, I'm not too excited about playing her in Thunderbolts. So, but a multiplayer scenario, she might actually succeed super well. Or you can ask to take certain actions or get call to actions to happen when the minions are in front of you and different items. That is interesting. I'm gonna have to figure out how that works. But she's coming out next month. It's around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what your thoughts are on Tigra. How excited are you about these cards? What are some of your ideas already? Do you like my pin down idea, or do you think you might try something different? As always, my name is Jason Sketch. And next time, I'll be deadly serious next time. Peace.